Welcome to the newly rebranded Multipassionate Mama podcast. I'm so excited that you're here. And if this is your first time here, oh my gosh, you are in for a treat. This used to be the Seeking Sunshine podcast, and it's been going for like 2.5 years. And originally, Seeking Sunshine was kind of my way to get out of my shell and tell my story. I am Karaleigh Garrison, if you're brand new to me. I doubt most of you are, but let's dive in anyway. I'm Karaleigh Garrison. I've got 3 kids with special needs. My husband's been disabled for a decade, and I started this podcast so that I could start sharing my story because I had a lot of stories to share. I had a lot of, I don't know, kind of like dramatic stuff going on that I wanted to get off my plate. And so when I very first started Seeking Sunshine, I was interviewing people who had also been through traumatic things. But as this show has progressed, I've kind of recognized that like I don't want to sit in the trauma anymore. There's so much more to me than those awful points in my life, right? I am this really big, passionate, bubbly person. So last year, I actually rebranded my show to be Seeking Sunshine with a tagline, which was Do What Lights You Up, which was about, we're not going to ignore the hard parts of our stories because those have made us who we are. Those are big pieces of our history that have transformed our lives and helped us be creative and given us the catalyst, to become who we are today. But they aren't the point. The point is how strong we are, how powerful we are in the face of adversity. So let's talk about our passions and how we've been able to overcome. What are the things that you love to do? And I was loving talking about all the things that light you up, and we're still going to do that. I mean, gosh, multi-passionate mama, that's exactly what I am. Like I have all these passions, all these things that I just love. So we're still going to be talking about what lights you up. But as I've learned more about podcasting and about business, I've realized, oh my gosh, I can't just pick one thing. And I got really tired of hearing you have to pick one thing or you're going to confuse your audience. And I'm kind of a rebel. I know it doesn't seem like that on the surface. If you've never gotten to know me very well, I seem like this little Christian girl who just does what she's told. I'm kind of a rebel. I don't like doing what I'm told. I go against the grain actually a lot. And so I felt like I was told very strongly, you have to pick one thing or you're going to confuse your audience. And I was like, no, nope, I'm going to be the multi-passionate mama who loves everything. And I have looked back in my entrepreneur journey because I am like a serial entrepreneur. I have started so many businesses, you guys. I have experience in a lot of worlds and I've like I'm really good at a lot of things. And I've actually been ashamed of it over the years, if you can even believe it. Maybe you can because maybe you're a lot like me. But I've had this feeling of like, I need to dim my light. I need to let people know that I'm good at only one thing because if they knew that I was actually good at everything, it would make them feel bad about themselves. But the actual truth is, hold on one second. But but the actual truth is I'm good at just about everything I try. Okay, I will tell you there's a few things that I'm not good at or that I don't want to be good at. I'm not very good at athletics, but I also have never really tried to be good at athletics. So sports count me out. Also, I haven't really tried. Cooking, I can be pretty good at cooking, but also I just don't like it. So count me out for cooking. I don't like cooking very much. So there are plenty of areas that I don't want to be good at, so I don't try very hard. But pretty much anything I try to be good at, I'm good at. Like, I'm gonna find a way to be good at it because I am smart and I'm talented, and I've not said those words, I think, ever in my whole life. Like, I've never owned this strength of mine that if I try, I'm gonna be good at things. I've been trying to shove myself into this box of you get to be good at one thing and that's it. Pick that one thing, Karaleigh, and stick with it for the rest of your life because that's what the world tells you is okay. You can shine your light, but only in one category, or you're going to make other people feel bad about themselves. And what I've learned is that that sucks for them. If they feel bad about themselves, that's not because of me, that's because of them. And I have to just let them deal with that and just shine my light as brightly as I freaking can. And it turns out that the brighter that I shine, I'm actually lighting the way for other people. But I've spent so much of my life being afraid of shining as brightly as I can because I thought I was hurting other people when I did it. When actually it's time. Like, I'm done with all that. It's time to just be all of me. And that means that I'm going to be good and I'm going to tell you that I'm good and I'm going to allow myself to be good at all the things I want to be good at. And I'll tell you what, that's a lot of things. I'm really good at hair and makeup and costumes and fashion. Like, that's what I studied in college. I'm really good at making graphics. I'm really good at speaking. I'm really good at singing. I'm good at producing music. I'm I don't know, I'm a little tempted to say I'm a good mom, but sometimes I am not so sure about that because kids have a way of telling you you're wrong about that just about every other day. Sometimes I'm a good mom, and sometimes I'm a little iffy on that. I'm good at listening. I'm good at helping people, and sometimes I am questioning whether or not I'm good at listening to people because sometimes I hear it wrong and I jump the gun. Just like so many of us, sometimes I'm like, wow, I nailed that one. I got it. Look at me. And sometimes I'm like, ooh, I got that one wrong. It's about time that we stopped holding back because of what other people, because of our perceptions of what other people are going to think. If somebody else thinks that we are too much, it's not on us. That's on them. And I love what Kathy Heller says about the gift of triggering people. And I actually did an episode about this not that far back. It's actually so beautiful when you trigger somebody because it helps them to see, if they're willing, that that's an area they need to work on in their lives. And when I'm triggered, it gives me the opportunity to reflect on myself and go, wait a minute, what is it in me that needs to be worked on here? How can I improve myself? Because all trust is self-trust, all anger is self-anger. Like, it's all about me. In the most selfish way, it's all about me. And I will tell you, it's summer break over here. At my house. It is summer break. I am recording this with all of my kids home and showing up messy because that's my option right now. I also have a cold, so my throat is like, oh, I was like, I don't know if I'll even be able to get this out today, but I'm showing up and I'm making it happen. And my first instinct was to show up to this recording and be like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I have a loud kid next to me. I'm sorry that my throat is sore, but I'm not sorry. I'm showing up in the best way that I can. I'm showing up even though my throat is sore and I've hardly been able to talk for the last several days. I'm showing up even though my circumstances are maybe not totally ideal. And I'm here anyways. And there's nothing to be sorry about it there. How often are we apologizing when we should be celebrating ourselves for showing up? So instead of apologizing for being, you know, a little messy, I'm going to celebrate that I'm here anyways and that I'm showing up beautifully imperfect because there is so much beauty in our imperfections. And you know what? There's also beauty in showing up as the absolute sparkliest, brightest version of yourself. So, Seeking Sunshine is officially now the Multi-Passionate Mama podcast, which you don't have to be a mama to enjoy this show because I'm the multi-passionate mama. You get to, this is all about being multi-passionate, being all of you and showing up as you are. And now the tagline is, let's see if I can remember it. The tagline for the show is finding clarity for your creative business, specifically for like entrepreneurs. But it's also about every part of your life. It's about showing up as all of you everywhere you go. Because if I've learned anything in the many businesses I've started, it's that starting a business, it reflects, it shows you who you really are in the most, hold on, bud, in the deepest way that you could never imagine until you start a business. It shows you who you really are. Shows you all your money blocks, all your expansion blocks. It shows you the ways in which you show up to other people. It shows you so many things about your energy. And we are going to talk about all of those things on this show. And I'm so excited to finally own how much I actually do know about entrepreneurship and business because I've not been allowing myself to own that for the longest time. I've been starting and running my own businesses as a mom for 15 years. I started with a business called Button Up Jewelry back in 2009, I think, when my daughter, she was born while I was running this business. And I made button jewelry, and my husband and I kind of ran this together, and we would go do vendor events every single weekend. Sometimes we would do farmers markets during the week, and then we would do big vendor events every single weekend. We would hand make all this button jewelry. It was so beautiful and it was so much fun. And we did this business together, and it was our full-time income when we were newlyweds. And when we had our daughter, she was born when we'd only been married like 18 months. That was the beginning of our relationship and the beginning of parenthood. She was such a good baby that she would just sleep during all of these craft fairs. And I learned through that business that I didn't want to be a manufacturer, and I had to quit that business when my second, the one who's over here yelling, when he was born, because Joshua is severely autistic, and he was severely autistic when he was born, even though he wasn't diagnosed yet, and he was severely autistic in the womb. And he just wasn't the quiet baby that allowed for that kind of sitting at vendor events and making stuff all the time. And so it didn't, yes, that child. So it didn't fit into my life anymore. And one thing I've learned about creating your own business is that it gets to fit into your life. And if it doesn't fit into your life, then you have the power to change it. And what's been incredible about podcasting is I've been able to combine it with music. You might have noticed that there's a brand new song, a brand new custom song that I wrote literally like yesterday. Wrote for this new iteration of this show. Excuse me. I've got a brand new song that I wrote for this show, and it's not even a fully fledged song yet because, again, I am sick, and I wrote that song in like very quickly. So it's just like a 14-second song, I think, is the entire length of it. And that's what I do. I dreamed of being a singer-songwriter like my whole life. Like I originally went to college to sing opera, and then I also wanted to be a speaker, and I was like, how can I do that? How can I be a speaker on stages and sing and perform in front of people when I've got 3 kids with special needs? Like that feels really impossible. And what I found with podcasting was I could do everything I loved together. I could be all of me in one go. Like I get to be here on camera in front of people, showing off the makeup I did, wearing amazing outfits, doing my hair however I want to, because I actually did study costume design and sewing in college and makeup design for camera. I actually spearheaded um like during COVID, I spearheaded the makeup design for Zoom shows, like that unit of shows during COVID. So I have a specialty in doing makeup for film and camera, like over Zoom specifically. But I love looking fabulous. It's like one of my favorite things to do is dress up, but I also love writing custom songs. And so now I have a studio here in my basement. I write custom songs for podcasters and I get to speak to people all over literally all over the world from my podcast. And it is the most incredible thing in the whole wide world because I get to do that while being an amazing mom at the same time. I get to be home with my kids. Yes, they are banging and making noise and being themselves here on summer break, but I get to do all of it. I get to make graphics for my show. I get to coach people. I've been coaching people on podcasting. I'm also coaching people on business and how to use all of your talents and skills and combine them in a way that's not confusing for your audience, in a way that really is magnetizing and draws them in. It's possible. It's possible to be all of you and be successful in business. It's possible to be your full, incredible self and to to live the life that was made for you, to be the most incredible mom or to be I don't know, it's possible for you to create a business that ticks all the boxes that you didn't think could possibly fit together. Like for me, that was singing, it was speaking, it was how can I also add in hair and makeup and fashion? How can I speak to people and have these really in-depth one-on-one conversations? How can I fit all of these pieces into one business that works for my life? Oh, and it has to like fit in the little sporadic moments of my life because I've got three special needs kids who randomly have things going on here and there, and nothing ever seems to like stick to the calendar, right? Like there's always things that come up and things have to be rescheduled all the time. I needed flexibility in the business that I was creating for my life. But that's the magic of entrepreneurship. And that's the magic of being multi-passionate is you get to fit what you create so that it matches your life. It is truly magical how that can work for you. And that's what I want to show you with this podcast. And as I help coach you through the most amazing journey of your life, it's all available to you. And there is a creative solution. I promise you, there really is. So, what does it mean to be multi-passionate? It means that you have a lot of things that you love to do, a lot of things that you're good at, and maybe things that you aren't like a specialist at necessarily, but that you think are really fun. And perhaps, like me, you have areas that you are really good at that you could have a business around, but that you don't necessarily want to have a business around. For example, I did study like makeup design for theater and for film in college. And I could be a makeup artist. I could be going around from on different sets and in theater productions, and I could be designing people's makeup for their shows. But it turns out that I actually don't want to spend all of my focus just doing makeup for other people. I also don't want to spend all my focus doing costume design for people. I want a combination That's part of my multi-passionate rebel nature is I don't wanna just pick one thing. I wanna do all of it all the time. And so I have learned in all the businesses I've done how my energy works. And so that's one thing I really want to share with you. And I really want you to consider that this is a journey. This is an adventure for you to learn on. And you're only going to like really get to know yourself as you try things and you start to understand how your energy really operates around people and in different settings. Because just because you can do something, just because you are really good at 20 different things doesn't mean that you want each one of them to be a full-blown business. So I've learned that like I don't necessarily want to just go do people's makeup all the time. I don't want to be a costume designer on a bunch of shows. I've actually done those before, and I learned in those experiences that that's not what I wanna do full time. They're fun on occasion, but they're not like once you actually get into them, there's a lot of nitty-gritty stuff that's not really what I loved about those different, I don't know, businesses, those different but you lose a lot of the creativity when you're in the actual business of it. So it helps to start analyzing like what is it that you actually love? What do you actually love about each of the passions that you have? Is there a creative element that you really love? And then once you start doing it, you kind of lose the creative element and it becomes like a job. And then it becomes a lot less fun. And if that is the case, which that happens for a lot of people, especially like songwriters, artists, writers, a lot of creative endeavors lose their spark. A lot of creative endeavors lose their spark when they become a job because it becomes about the money. And a lot of things, when they become about money, they lose the reason why you started doing them in the first place. They lose the inspiration, they lose the fun. And you really have to remember like the why behind why you're doing it in the first place and hold on to that with all of your heart. The fun is so important because without the fun, you actually do lose the inspiration. And without the inspiration, it really quickly becomes drudgery. And if your creative passion becomes drudgery, there's a certain spark that you lose, and it is so sad. It's so sad to see this thing that you once loved so much become not enjoyable anymore. So pay attention to how your energy is when you're getting paid to do something that you love and find a way to make it still fun, which is for me as somebody who's very multi-passionate, that's why I like to kind of flit from one thing to another. Why I'm sometimes writing music for people, but not always. Like I don't want that to be my main thing because it's more fun when it's sporadic and not like, "Oh, I have to write another song, time to churn out some more stuff, time to put, hustle and grind on music." It's music is supposed to be fun and uplifting and inspirational, and I wanna dance around to this newest song I wrote and really enjoy it and soak it in instead of it having to be like churn out another one. And the same goes for art, and the same goes for every like creative medium that you have going on. You have to remember like money is so not the most important thing. Like your life is like your life joy, like being mindful of like the reason that you're here is not to get more things. It's not to get more money and merely survive. It's to enjoy your life and to enjoy your time here, to look around and see, like, the beauty of everything around you, to smile and feel that, like, literally like, that feeling. If you're creative, like, that feeling in your chest of, like, when you've made something new that's just incredible and, like, you're the only one who knows about it, that feeling inside of, like, I have something incredible to share with the world and, like, imagining how many people are gonna love it, it's that feeling. of potential, of possibility, of, oh my gosh, look what I did, of like so much pride in what you've done and the inspiration and how much like you allowed to happen through you. That feeling is really what it's all about. It's not about the money. But the irony is that the more that you allow that, that's when the money will flow. That's when, you're able to receive more things because you're not so tight and concerned about where's the next thing coming from. So, as you know, someone who's multi-passionate, multiple like streams of income and multiple ways in which your business looks, what I really, really love is having what I call a through line, having a way in which your audience can see you as the person who does this one thing, but it is multifaceted. And the way I described it in the trailer was that we are diamonds. Like, yes, you are a diamond. And I know that that can take it really, like, for our nervous system to embody that takes time because a lot of times we're really used to being down on ourselves and our self-worth. It takes time to elevate that understanding of who we actually are. But actually, you're a diamond. Like, actually, you are that valuable. And I mean valuable as in however, whatever diamonds are actually worth. I mean the way in which most of society views the value of diamonds, like incredibly valuable, like so shiny and beautiful and like multifaceted. And it's because of the different angles. It's because of the way they shine in different light, because of all the spectrum of color that you see when you can how they reflect in the different light with the whole litany, the whole rainbow of colors that come out. Different people are going to see what they want when they look at a diamond. They're going to see different colors. And that's the same for you. People are going to see what they want. So it's not about so much about putting on a clear front. It's about you have your clear messaging and then you let people choose what they want to see. Hopefully that is coming across clearly because I'm a little unsure if it is. But people are going to find in you what they are looking for. They are going to find in you what they are looking for. And the truth is, they might be looking for a scapegoat. They might be looking for somebody to blame. And if they are, they'll find it. Everywhere they look, they'll be finding somebody to blame. They might be looking for a hero. And if they're looking for that, they'll find it. They might be looking for an inspiration. If they're looking for that, they'll find it. They might be looking for somebody who is just like them. And if they are, they'll find it. People will only find what they are looking for. So don't take it personally, whatever people decide to see in you, because they're only seeing what they're looking for. People often see their own reflection in diamonds. That's the truth of it. But you shine so brightly that when people look at you, they see the brightness in themselves. That's your goal. Shine so brightly that when people look at you, all they can see is their own beauty, their own worth. That is what I hope you take away from this. When you allow yourself to be all that you are, to have every talent, and to be so damn good at every single one of them, because you get to be good at as many things as you want to be good at. And you get to have a business and a life that reflects all of it. When you have all of it, you are showing other people what's possible and you're reflecting that ability in them because they're only saying what they are allowing in. People are only going to see what they're open to see. That's it. So shine as brightly as you can so that other people can see the reflection in you, so they can know that it's possible to shine. I want you to know that it's possible to be good at as many things as you want to be good at, and to not have to shove yourself into a box in order to have a successful business, in order to live an incredible life. You get to be all of you. You get to be all of you. If you are a mom, you don't have to shut out the rest of your passions, the rest of your life, and just focus on being mom forever or 20 years or whatever it is. If you have kids with special needs, that doesn't have to be the sole focus of your life. And that was such a huge turning point for me as I had this realization, oh my gosh, my kids are never going to leave the house, at least not this one, right? My Joshua, who's sitting over here, he's the one making noises because he's on my cell phone so that I can record this. He's never going to leave the house. If I ever want to live my life, if I ever want it to be my turn, there's no point in waiting because it's never going to be my turn. Nobody else is coming to save me. No one's coming to save me. No one's coming. I have to save myself. I'm the only person who can change my own life. And the same is true for you. No one's coming to... Sorry. No one's coming to save you. It's time to save yourself. And no, I'm not going to cut... No, I'm not going to cut any of this out because this is my messy reality. And this is, here's me. No, I'm not going to cut anything out. This is my life. This is my messy reality. It is summer break and I'm here for all of it. Hold on just a minute. Here's me, right? This is my turn. It is my opportunity to figure out how to live my best life with him by my side, because I wouldn't want it any other way, right? I don't want to go get rid of him so I can go be a podcaster. I want to be a podcaster with him right next to me. That's what I want. And if you don't like that, bye. This is my podcast, and I get to have my show and my kids. So you get to design your life for you. And the people who don't like it, they don't need to be there. They don't need to watch, because this is your life and you get to have it the way you want to, because it's yours. And if you're living your life for other people, what are you doing? It's not their life. They have their own. This is your life. You don't need to live it for other people. That's such a shame. That's such a waste. This is your opportunity. Please don't give away your power to other people. Please don't give away your life to somebody else. You have passions and desires, and you have so much to give the world. You have so much to give the world. Don't let things like this hold you back. I could go hide in a corner and be like, I can't show up and give, my performance here. I can't give my podcast recording 100% today because I am sick and I can't speak without my voice sounding raspy, and I have my kids home from school and they're yelling in the background. I can't give it all. So maybe my message isn't worth hearing today. So you'll have to tell me if this is worth hearing, even though I have limits. We all have limits. We all have things we think are holding us back that make our message not worth sharing. And so you're going to have to tell me. because I'm pretty sure that my message is worth hearing despite my circumstances, despite the things that I have going on that might tell me that I could let my brain tell me, to hold back and to not do it. And there have been so many times in my life where I've held back and not shown up because I didn't think I was good enough. I cannot tell you how much of my life, especially with my weight, and a lot of times with my kids, and a lot of times with my sore throat, how many times that I let things hold me back and I didn't show up because I didn't think I was worth it. And I'm done. I am done letting things hold me back because I know that there is someone out there who needs this message that can see through all the other things, all the circumstances that are ridiculous, that don't really matter. That doesn't really matter. I think that you can see through that. I don't think that that is going to bother you as much as old me would have told me that it mattered. So you're going to have to let me know. I've been waiting for 3 days to be able to talk this much. I have not had any better opportunity to record this. And here I am. I am literally showing up in the best way I can, in the best opportunity that I can. And my message to you is to show up. Bud, can you hold on for 1 more minute? My message to you is to show up. Show up with your fat thighs. Show up with your ums and your ahs and your imperfect messaging. Show up with or without makeup. Show up if your voice sounds scratchy like mine. Show up if your kids are yelling around in the background and stomping around. Show up imperfectly because you have a message that is worth sharing and somebody needs to hear it. Show up if you're multi-passionate and you didn't write down your message, so it might have come across a little muddled. Show up anyways and keep showing up day after day after day. Please don't stop showing up. People need you. They need you to show up. Please don't stop showing up. I'm going to keep showing up. I'm here for you. I'm here for you even if my throat is sore, even if my kids are yelling, even if I won't be able to talk the rest of the day because I just talked to you guys for a while. Please. Lean on me. Hold on, bud. Lean on me for an example of someone who is showing up so imperfectly today. You can do it. You can show up so messy, and your message is still worth it, and people still need it. They need you to show up as you are. Welcome to the Multi-Passionate Mama podcast. I'm here for it, and I'm here for you. Thank you for being here.